Live?
No, yep.
There we go. We're live now. Welcome to the design meeting. This is a hastily called together meeting because Jen, our usual convener, is apparently away and unable to help out. So we're doing something. We're kind of going impromptu here, and I think the plan is we have an agenda, but to hold to that pretty loosely. And we missed the UX meeting last week because of holidays in the US. So I think anything from either the UX or the design agenda could be legit. Let's start out by just saying what people, if there are issues that people feel like they want to or need to talk about. Personally, I would like to talk a little bit about the virtual user group. Anybody else?
I actually came to find out if there was anything being discussed with BadCamp, with the stuff for BadCamp. I think,
sure. That seems like a good thing to bring up too.
Yeah.
As far as I know, that discussion hasn't started, but we could at least get it started today. I mean, Jen it hasn't come up in these meetings yet. That doesn't mean that Jen hasn't been thinking about it or talking to other people.
Right.
Anything else? Any UX stuff? Okay. So should we start out and talk about those two things then?
Yep.
Let's. I mean, the BadCamp thing could be fairly straightforward because we can't do a lot. I know when we announced the mini camp at Twin Cities Drupal, Amy, I forget her last name, the contrib person in Drupal that's on BadCamp planning committee, got all excited and said we should have one of those at BadCamp too.
Amy June?
Yes, Amy June. Thank you.
Heinlein.
So which one are we talking about? Is it the Drupal Camp Asheville?
No, that's tomorrow. We're talking about BadCamp. That's the one in Oakland, not till October.
Okay.
So we're not in a rush here, but I think.
I just want to start planning because right. I just want to be ready.
No, I agree. And I'm not 100% sure I can come to BadCamp, but BadCamp is like the most logical place for a group of backdroppers to get together. Right. Just because there's probably the most people that are close and or would regularly maybe go to that camp anyways. For those who maybe aren't familiar, I think for the last couple of years, I was there 2 years ago, but I think for the last couple of years they've had 1 day of training and 1 day of summit. In my view, the summit itself has been a bit of a training as well. That it was sort of a more ad hoc kind of, less structured training, but there was it was kind of an intro to Backdrop Day. It was my experience at the summit 2 years ago. I don't know, has anybody else participated in I know, Jeff, you have, because you were there when I was.
I was there.
Who's going to be at or does anybody know that there'll be a BadCamp this year?
I'm planning on it.
And you are Jason, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Jeff, do you have any idea if you can nod your head or?
I'm probably not going to be there.
Probably not? Okay. Well, I would assume, I don't see any reason why we wouldn't do at least what we've done the last couple of years or that Jen and Nate wouldn't, which is the 1 day of training and 1 day of summit, but I can't confirm or deny anything, so. Other than sort of planting the seed and saying that I think it should definitely be on our next design agenda again. And if anybody has any ideas that they want to throw out now to start thinking about, they could. The idea of doing another sort of mini camp seems intriguing, but I don't know. I'd like to get Jen's opinion on that.
Yeah, I've just sort of like I'm the receiver of whatever is being recorded. So I think that the 1 day training, one thing summit thing worked. I haven't gone through all the videos from the last the mini camp, what we called it. But I hear that was successful too. That Drupal event though was more days, right? Or
I'm sorry?
That Drupal event was more days though. The duration, wasn't it?
So I haven't. BadCamp is going through some changes this year, is my understanding. They've moved off the Berkeley campus, and they're going to be at the Hotel Shattuck. I don't know, if they're making any changes to their dates. I think They in the past did 2 days of trainings, which is why we could do a training and a summit, whereas Twin Cities Camp just had 1 day. I don't know how many days the sessions Bad Camp has. But
It's been 2 days in the past.
has it? So 2 days
Yeah.
of training and 2 days of sessions?
Right.
Okay. So I would expect it to be the same, but that's something else we should check on. It's possible that with the hotel, it's more expensive and they have to, tighten it up or something. I don't know. So I don't know if this was helpful, but I think it at least starts the discussion. Does anybody have anything more to say on that? Or what they think we should do?
Well, I think maybe there should be like a central discussion place where people can chime in and,
Right.
figure out, come into the party late and still get current on what's going on, what's being discussed.
So for like the mini camp, we did open an issue, I think, in backdrop.org issue queue, if I recall, which right at the beginning was used, but then planning sort of fell into mostly happened at the meetings. But I definitely think it would be good to have a place in the issue queue. So we should open an issue to make plans for, and I'd be happy to do that, to make plans for Bad Camp and make sure we have it on the agenda for the meeting as well. Does that make sense?
Sure.
And then
if it's
people can put their ideas in the issue.
If it's October, it's going to be sort of like a month after the release, 1.14. So we have plenty of new features to present. That would be interesting.
Okay.
Especially what Doc Wilmot is working on, the flexible layouts thing.
Yep.
And there's more coming. So there will be plenty of session ideas. And then we have the ongoing discussion topic of migrations or moving from D7, like upgrades. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like I say, I'm sure we'll be doing things. So I just checked the dates for those who haven't looked. It's October 2nd through 5th. That would imply the same. It looks like 2 days of summits and 2 days or summits trainings.
Yeah, I posted it in Gitter too.
Okay. Yeah, especially if I know there's going to be a critical mass of backdroppers there, I would be more likely to come. I want to come either way. It's going to be a stretch for me. So, okay.
And it's quite a distance stretch for me as well.
Yeah. More so for you. Okay. So should we move on to talk a little bit about the virtual user group?
Yeah, we can do that.
So I went ahead, as I often do, and just sort of got things out there. It still can be changed. But we were hoping to do a virtual user group this week. That didn't happen. I scheduled one next week and the month after. Some people had been asking to do something on testing for Backdrop, and I have two concerns about that. One of them is trying to keep the user group a little bit more beginner focused, and I'm a little nervous about that, but I think we got a way to handle that. The bigger concern, though, was frankly, that's technical enough that I want somebody lined up, like Jeff, or somebody that can actually be prepared to show people how to write tests. I think just having a general discussion about like how we don't know how to write them is not helpful. And I wasn't sure we could do that by next week. So my proposal was that we do something else this next week, and then in August we do a sort of a contrib themed user group, but maybe have it be a special workshop on tests afterwards or right after or something. We could do the whole session on that. It feels kind of advanced to me. What do people think?
So I always said that I want to get into writing tests because I see now even more that as new features get in, it's a requirement, especially Nate pushing for. And I know the theory behind it, so what it's meant to be doing and how it works. It's like it's PHP, but yeah. But I'm more of a visual person. Like I need someone to show me rather than it will take me longer to understand by reading the code or So if someone gets me started, I think that Oh, I can. If by looking at the tests I see something missing, then you know that my OCDs will start kicking in, and I'll start adding more. But yeah,
So, Jeff, would you be willing, or would you be a good person to sort of do a primer on writing tests?
I can. I've written some. I'm not an expert, but I probably know enough to like show some examples and kick off a discussion.
Well, I suspect that some of the people that want to learn this know little pieces of it, and that if we had somebody that could get us going, that we might be able to help each other out. And when I say each other, I mean not me. But
well, it was Jeff. It was Jeff that started me doing pull requests on GitHub like 4 or 5 years ago. And look, it's like so.
So the topic I proposed for next week, I proposed because it's something that I've been doing some work on, and I thought would be interesting, and I want to get it recorded. I'd kind of like to do that next week, but if do you feel if we had some people, if we had new people were going to be there to talk about tests that knew about them, we could do the same idea, which is sort of have the beginner section and the advanced section of the user group next week, and record them separately. So we could, and then people could just participate in whichever they want. Or should we just wait till the following month? So what I'm asking is, do we have the people and the interest to try and do tests next week? Or should we just put that off and do it in August?
I'm fine either way. I'm one of the people that is interested. I know about others.
Okay.
It depends on who's there too. Like if it's I don't have like an hour's worth of stuff to talk about tests,
That's okay.
but Jen probably does.
Right. My feeling is that if we at least had you there to take 15 minutes and show some examples and share what you know to get us started, certainly, and at least one person prepared. You know, Jen and or Nate might show up for that, and either one of them could, on the fly, add to the conversation as long as we've got it started. Plus, like I say, I think some other people could. I think we'd be more likely if we announced this a month out to have actually more people there with knowledge than if we tried to rush it next week. So,
yep. Talking about announcements, because I don't follow Twitter or stuff, are the virtual user groups announced, like added in the events on Backdrop CMS?
yes, I usually publish them on backdrops.org, its events, and I post them in the forums. We also tweet about them. Ideally, we should be getting them into newsletters, but the news, well, that's another topic. So, if there's been an effort to get on a regular newsletter schedule, and if we did, then this would be an obvious thing to have in them every month.
Yeah, I'm usually lurking in Gitter, so if someone reminds me the day before, there's a time difference as well, that'd be great.
Okay.
Because I think I missed one user group.
Yeah, I think there might be one. Okay. Well, the other thing that Jen has encouraged me to do is get them on the Google, the Backdrop calendar, because then I don't know if you get those, Gregory, but she gets Google alerts. And she missed one because she just forgot about it and didn't get the Google alert.
For me, it's kind of like I won't get it because there's the time difference as well. So I wake up in the middle of the night and then I figure out that I should have, woke up a couple of hours earlier. And yeah, so that's why I said if someone just posts a message on Gitter the day before, I would just have it on my mind. I think that the last time I missed it, it was because it was scheduled way ahead of time and then I just forgot about it. So if you say that we're doing it next week, I'm not going to forget it. But if it's like...
Yeah. Okay, we'll try and help remind you.
Thank you. Do we have is the Google Calendar something public, like something that people can subscribe to, or is it like an internal thing? A few people are invited.
I think anybody could subscribe to it.
Okay.
I think it's not like they might not be able to add things to it. I think you have to have permission to add events to it, but I think anyone can subscribe to it.
Yeah, and it's the one in the resources thing.
What?
I'm just looking at Backdrop CMS support and then resources, just to see there it is. Google Calendar. Okay, cool. Found it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm a little bit frazzled because this meeting came together, so I'm not sure. I haven't even opened up I have the agenda here, don't I? Is there anything else on there that we feel like we're able to or want to talk about? I mean,
Yeah, we have another 10 minutes, so there are specific tickets there. External mentions. Get backdrop displayed on all the non-backdrop news sources. Sorry.
let's, yeah, could we jump around a bit? Because blog posts actually, see, I feel like we've got a backup of blog posts that are drafts. Like, Jeffrey, don't you have some that have been drafts for like 3 or 4 months? Is there something we can do to get one of those published?
Me?
Oh, I'm sorry, Gregory. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. I have to get back to, yeah, there's 2 of them. And now I see that there's another person, Peter Edwards, or are these spam? No. Understand web hosting before you regret, using Excel for CMS, and how digital marketing. Are you seeing those drafts?
I don't have it open now, but I'm going there, and I've seen them before. Yeah, I know that
Yeah.
they're there. Last time I looked.
Are they legitimate? Because some of them just have just an image, sort of like maybe they were created there as placeholders for.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening. I think Jen had somebody who was going to write some posts, and so those might be placeholders.
Yeah.
So, but is there something we can do to get some of yours? Get some of yours going?
Okay, yeah. The low-hanging fruit is the one that says show your support for backdrop by adding it to your Drupal.org profile, and I might do that because all it's missing is just screenshots. I might get that done either today or over the weekend. Okay. The other one started off as a response to another blog post, and then they were using this discuss or whatever it's called, and then it ate like a quarter of my post, like because it had a word limit, and yeah. Anyways, and I needed to remember what I wrote, and now it's been a long time. But yeah, I can just work on that. It's just gonna take longer.
Yeah, that was is backdrop a viable alternative to Drupal?
Yeah, that's a more sort of like elaborate thing that will need more work.
Okay.
But it was from memory. It was sort of like a recap of what we have been doing, what features have been added, as in a sort of like if someone asks from a point of yeah, I heard about backdrop the first year it was announced or something like that, but I've never kept in touch what's happened in the last 4 or 5 years. And I was sort of like I needed to highlight most of the the most prominent features.
Well, I'm going to be an advocate for helping get one of your posts published within the next week. So let's.
Okay, thanks. Just advocate as in pestering me all the time, right?
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead and do that, please. Yeah.
Part of I might do something on the state of contrib themes, which is some of you might have saw that little Google Doc I published last week or earlier this week with just a summary of all the existing contrib themes. And part of my I think that in terms of outreach that for backdrop, getting some more contrib themes would be a great thing. And I think we could stimulate that a little bit by just providing information and encouraging folks, letting people know that this is an area that needs some work. So that's that Google Doc I did was sort of a first step to like, let's understand what exactly we have, what the situation is. I was a little bit surprised at the number of those themes that are the limited number we have that are just plain broken. So
yeah. So this brings to mind there was Evangelos, so a person that is a WordPress Greek WordPress community member organizer. Mm-hmm. So he's sort of like following around us every now and then, and his main complaint about starting using Backdrop in some small projects is that there's not enough themes. So this brings that to mind. He did mention to me, hey, we could just, if you show me around, if you get me started, maybe I can do something, but he's completely new to Drupal or Backdrop altogether. The good thing is that 2 years ago, I was invited, there was in my my hometown, there was a it was organized by the WordPress guys, but they invited Joomla guys and what is the other CMS? Anyway, so I did a presentation there, and they said I'm going back in 2 weeks, Greece. Then I have 2 weeks of holiday, but I'll be there for 6 weeks in total. And they said that maybe we can do something like a presentation there. But I'm sure that if I do, the topic of themes is going to come up.
Well, I hope to bring that topic up at the user group too this week. So I'm going to try and get a blog. That's be one of my goals, is to get a blog post out on that topic.
I realize that this is an important aspect. It's just that because I don't professionally, I just build backdrop sites, the need of actually building a theme for someone, for a customer, has never come up. So I never delved into it. And I'm always drawn to the more interesting stuff of fixing core. So point is that I need to at some point get to do that.
Well, I think some of us that build sites regularly with Backdrop, also it's not a priority because we're not looking for out-of-the-box themes. And we intend to custom build themes for the most part. So that's not where it becomes an issue for me. It becomes an issue for me when I'm trying to talk my friend into using Backdrop. And not necessarily build it for them. That's when it really...
Adding color support to some basic sort of like starter themes, even basis, is a really good idea. And Joseph did a really good job with basis adding support. We just need to figure out how to easily add that to other themes. And in that end, kudos to you as well for starting up that, what do you call it? Tatsu, the theme?
Oh, Tatsu, yeah.
Tatsu, yeah, all right.
Actually, I don't say it out loud very often, so I haven't figured out. I think Tatsu.
I haven't actually installed it. Do you have or plan to have support for colors? Is it something that can be done there?
It has color support. That's Basis already has color support, and we forked it, and I modified the color support for it.
Oh yeah,
but that's very important. Yeah.
I now remembered the different hero blocks, that the thing that you want to add. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's a noble cause.
Okay. Actually, we'll talk about that at the user group too. So.
Yep.
Okay.
All good ideas.
All
right. We have another 2 minutes before the dev meeting.
Yeah. I don't know. If anybody want to skim through, and is there anything on the agenda that?
Tweets, videos on YouTube. We've discussed about that. The events we said. Let's see the website.
What are you looking at, Gregory?
I'm looking at the outreach agenda.
Yep.
So it as captions, as like sections, you have external mentions, tweets and Facebook, videos on YouTube, which we said it's a good thing to have, but we didn't get started on that. Like, I think Peter did a video, but that was on code something, modifying. I can't remember what it was. It was rather lengthy, but the goal was not to have those as well, but to have some short videos of demoing like the main features, like promotional, that could help promotionally as well.
Yeah.
Then events and meetups, we've done that, and then it's a section about our website and the newsletter. So right. The newsletter is kind of quick. Is that happening?
So my understanding of that is that we have this sort of marketing company that is volunteered to help us, and Jen has been coordinating with them. And I think that they sporadically have generated some content, but we just haven't gotten into a habit. Right? They're willing to do stuff, and they've even started some stuff. They're supposed to do some profiles.
Yeah, I remember that the last announcement for the 113 release, that we got something going, and then they went and they sort of like groomed it to be more enthusiastic, and it was good. It was good job.
Yeah, we need to have a talk about that with Jen around.
Yeah, and then the big section is on our website. There's different topics there. Blog post ideas, we've done that, and blog posts.
I'll just say something about Twitter, because Jason brought up that maybe it's been pretty quiet lately. I think, I don't know if it's been as quiet as it appeared today, but but Jen and I do most of the Twitter stuff. I think, I don't know if anybody else has been, but I think both, it's just I know for the last 2 or 3 weeks, it's been probably since Twin Cities Drupal Camp, it's been pretty dead. And we'll try to get that fired up again.
With our website, and for the few minutes that we have left, actually we went overboard, but yeah, there's been a few proposals, 3 that come to mind, of taking advantage of utilizing our website to get feedback from people for issue priorities, as in get a heartbeat of what the community feels that prioritize, like vote on tickets, on issues, even on bad fixes, what should be prioritized. And then an idea would be, if we get that sort of feedback, then we could have some sort of form to say, what would you like to discuss in the next virtual user group? So get some feedback from people. I don't know if we have that. See how you asked in this meeting, and you keep asking on Gitter what people would like to discuss for the next virtual groups, or even have a poll and say, we are thinking of discussing, of scheduling those 2 next topics. Which one would you like? So people can vote. That would help us make a decision. And the last one, I need to bring this up, is Doc Wilmot has constantly saying that the process of getting maintainers for contributed modules is based on GitHub at the moment. But he mentioned that we should make it easier, like make a form on b.org and then have a group of people that get notified, because it's usually just me, going through the queue, and often I forget, and then people have to remind me that, hey, have you seen this application? So I don't want new contributors to just be waiting there for a week for a response. Ideally, yeah. So if there was a form on our main site, on the ways to contribute, like in the sources thing, that people can just post a name and just a short comment saying, hey, I'm thinking of porting that module, or whatever. And then a few people got notified, maybe we could get things rolling faster. That's what I'm saying.
Right. Okay.
I'll probably add a point here.
Yeah, we should make sure that's on the agenda for next time with Jen, and also make sure there's a ticket. Is there a ticket for that already?
I'm not sure. It was just idea, not tickets. Yeah,
Let's
create tickets as well for it.
Put a ticket on the backdrop.org queue.
Yeah, I'll go ahead with adding the bullet points in the agenda for now. Okay. But I'm not sure, how are the agendas? Is the previous agenda copied over to create a new one, or should I?
No, I think the way Jen usually does it is she has a template that she starts from, and then she maybe cuts and pastes things into it from
the previous one.
From the previous one. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll add it to this current one then as a topic, and then I'll let.
That will definitely help. Yeah.
Okay, I'm adding that now.
Okay. Okay, I think we should wrap up.
Yes.
I'm going to stop the meeting, and then we should talk about getting the next one started. Do you want to? I mean, I could do it just because I'm already in the control panel, or if you want to do it.
Sorry, what?
Just a minute. Let me stop this meeting.
Yep.
There we go. Bye-bye, everybody.